I'm in San Antonio for REITs REITwise, our 2019 Law, Accounting, and Finance Conference. Joining me today is Serena Wolfe, Central Region Real Estate, Hospitality, and Construction Leader with EY. Serena, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Now, what material impact, if any, will investors likely see as a result of REITs adopting the new leasing standard?
So there was a huge change with regards to the leasing standard over the last 10 years that we've been talking about it, and the ultimate impact to lessors wasn't as significant as we originally thought it would be and as significant as it's been to lessees. But what you're going to see is for those REITs that have a large number of leases where they're lessees, so for instance ground leases, so the REITs that have a significant amount of real estate in Manhattan where ground leases are really quite significant, or data center REITs where they do a lot of leasing and subleasing, you're going to see quite a large gross up of the balance sheet as they put on the right of use asset and the right of use liability for those. So I think the first thing you're going to see from an investor perspective is a large change in the composition of the assets and liabilities as a result of bringing those leases on balance sheet, which, but that, to be honest, is very consistent with many other industries as well as to be honest, many other industries have an even more significant impact. Think about a restaurant chain, for example, that has leases with every restaurant that they own. They have to pull those on balance sheet entirely, and so REITs as a sector have been less impacted. But you're going to see, I guess, quite a large material impact, because if you think about ground leases, they can be as long as 90 years, and that's a lot of cash flows.
And are REITs that are lessees as well prepared for the new standards as REITs that are lessors?
Yeah, I think so. I think that as an industry as a whole, REITs have been really focused on this standard for a long time and have been working through the issues. There were a couple of kind of remaining issues around how do you determine the incremental borrowing rate, which is what you need to actually value the right of use asset or right of use and lease liability, because you need that incremental borrowing rate to discount back the cash flows from the ground lease. And if you think about that, for, like I said before, if you have a ground lease that's 99 years, how do you determine what the cost of borrowing is for a 99-year loan? It doesn't exist, right? It's a fictitious make-believe financial instrument. And so that was a complication that REITs worked through. But I think that they've all come to a pretty good space and are well prepared. And as many of them had to do major disclosures around the expected impact in their 2018 10Ks in any case.
And lastly, can you talk a little bit about the working group that you're a part of in conjunction with REITs Dividends Through Diversity and Inclusion Initiative, and what the group's main objectives are? Sure.
So the Dividend Through Diversity program for REIT is reasonably new, and Bonnie Gottlieb, heading that initiative, reached out to all the real estate organizations to try and see if there's some collaboration that can be obtained and try and leverage some of the work that other organizations have already been doing. So I'm the current chair of the Women's Leadership Initiative for the Urban Land Institute. There's lots of acronyms there. So and in doing that role, we've been working on a number of great initiatives, scholarships, and other types of things. And so Bonnie brought together a number of the organizations: BOMA, NAIOP, ICSC, ULI, CREW, many others. And we had a working session to try and see how can we leverage what each of us have been doing to try and make a greater impact, right? Let's stop working within our silos and let's say, okay, NAIOP or ICSC, you have a university outreach program. Well, we may be going to the same universities, so let's WLI or ULI, let's all collaborate together and see if we can really effectuate change as a collaborative group. And so we're pretty excited to see where it heads.
Great. Serena, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course, thank you.
For more information on this and other REIT news and analysis, be sure to visit REIT's website, REIT.com.